that's what I like the most about people like the Beatles and David Bowie, that they were always changing and stuff. And I think like when I first started and all my stuff was quite Beatle-y, not that this isn't Beatle-y, but I think it's a little bit different to that. It's not as obviously Beatle-y. And I sort of trust my own ideas a bit better now than I used to, probably. So I'm a little bit more confident to say, well, I just want to put that in regardless of, you know, what an influence might have done. So yeah, it's hopefully evolving.
Oh, well, it is. I can tell you from what I've heard, and I'm sure a lot of people have been listening to you from since the start. I can obviously say you've evolved, and that's a new saying you should coin right now. Thomas is Beatle-y.
Beatle-y, yeah.
So there's another one for the music business.
Beatle-esque. Well, yeah. Well, I think that was probably the best word to describe my stuff when I first started. But I mean, now I think, I don't know, I just listen to a lot more than I did, I suppose, 2 years ago. And I listen to different things now a lot more. Well, not that I listen to the Beatles any less.
Right.
But, yeah, it's more a mix, hopefully.
Well, you have to come into your own sound, right? And although music is essentially a universal language, you know, it's one of those things that kind of cliche saying, you know, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. But point being is that with music, it's one of those things that, you know, as you grow, your musical tastes grow as well. So you're kind of more in tune to listen to different stuff. You may not necessarily like it, but you know, you're willing to give it more of a shot than you would have before.
Yeah, well, exactly. I mean, I don't know. It's cool to keep changing and using influences in a more clever way than just using it basically. I think because you can very easily just go, I'll make a record sound like the Beatles. So it was a bit of a good template at first, because I know that's a sound that works, obviously, because it worked for them. So it's sort of like altering that template a bit more and making it a bit more interesting and putting more of my ideas into a template that other people have used, sort of thing.
Well, I like the way you're going, and it's like I said, you're constantly improving and evolving, and I'm speaking as a listener, as a radio host, and I will say mediocre musician. I'm not gonna I'm gonna leave it at that, not go any further. But yeah, it's nice, and like I said, when I first heard this new version, I was amazed. I couldn't imagine I couldn't believe the jump. But I'm gonna shut up so we can get into another one of your singles. Will be a single. This is actually A-side, isn't it?
Is this Please Don't Slow Me Down?
That's what it is.
This is the B-side that's going to be on the CD and on the download too, of Crocodile, and yeah, this is one I've also re-recorded recently.
All right, so we're going to check it out right now. This is Thomas McConnell with Please Don't Slow Me Down. Dig this.
Please don't hurt me.
Right on. That was Thomas McConnell with "Please Don't Slow Me Down." This is the B-side to the download and the CD for the single "Crocodile." Now, this one is a bit mellower.
Yeah.
And it's got that climb to it, kind of the. I'm trying to think the best way to put it where it actually makes sense. Because it sounds right in my head, but speaking it out doesn't necessarily translate perfectly. But the kind of the 3/4 timing, with the kind of the we'll call it the up and down scale. So no, like you're crawling along your guitar. So doon 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 doon. If that makes sense.
Oh, the little falling riff thing.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah.
I knew you could make better sense of it than I could. So.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, it's sort of I suppose it's a bit modelled on. Well, I mean, I wrote this song in 2009, so I was only 15 when I wrote this song, so it's a very old tune, really. And it's just one that I wanted to rework a bit and make sound better. But I think it was influenced by songs like "Please Let Me Get What I Want" by the Smiths, which is a similar sort of vibe, and it's also a bit like that 50s-y sort of crooning ballad, maybe, and more like Everly Brothers sort of style. It's that sort of style song, but I didn't want the recording to necessarily sound that way.
Well, you can definitely for sure tell the 50s in there. That was this is gonna be my next point of the song, but again, this is another good one. Now, why did you decide this for a B-side? I mean, is it ever gonna make an EP, or is it gonna stay a B-side?
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's not really a B-side, really. I suppose it's just the second song on it. It could be a double A-side. I might end up making a video for that or something. But it was just because I'd done an acoustic version of it on YouTube. So I knew that a few people already knew the song anyway, so I thought it'd be good to get that one out because there'd been some nice comments on the YouTube video. So I just thought that would be a good one to do. And I do quite like the tune. And it's one of like my oldest songs, so I quite like the way that it's lasted. In my head, anyway.
Yeah, well, this one I don't think I've heard, and I never would have guessed a 15-year-old wrote the song at the time.
Well, I mean, yeah, lyrically it's quite like simple, because I was always intending to change the lyrics, because they're quite like simple lyrics, but I ended up just thinking it'd be quite nice. My 15-year-old self would have quite liked it if I'd, at 21, just released a song. So I thought I'll just keep it as a little thank you to my 15-year-old self.
But you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's always fun to go back to look at one of the first songs you ever wrote. So I mean, there's nothing wrong with that at all. I mean, like I can still remember the first song I wrote, like, really cheesy and like, you know. Three open chords and one power chord, and that was it, you know. But at the time, it sounded really cool.
Well, yeah, man. I mean, I don't know if it was my very first song, but I just remember being about 15, 16 and trying to write loads of songs, and I think that was one of the ones that came out. It was probably one of the better ones. The others were mostly shit. But it's a tune I liked, so I just wanted to get it out there.
Well, you know what? We're gonna jump back to Crocodile for a second, because one thing I was waiting till we played both songs is you did make a video for Crocodile.
I did, yeah.
And that was a really cool one, man. I like that, and a lot of people have watched it already. So, did you have the idea in mind before you did the video of how you're going to lay it out, or was it kind of worked on it as you went?
Well, see, this whole single idea has been like a work in progress for ages. So originally, I wanted to make a video that looked like a blockbuster movie with explosions and crocodiles flying everywhere. But obviously that was impossible for someone who doesn't know anything about that. So it ended up just being, I'll buy a crocodile suit and I'll put one of my friends in it and we'll just do something silly. So on the day, we really thought, well, funnily enough, the night before we'd been playing hide and seek. So we just thought, we'll make the crocodile try and hide from me. And we just did it in my friend's house. And my friend Joe Laverty filmed it and directed it and stuff. And Chris Melia played the crocodile. And it was just really fun. And we just did it all in one day and edited it all. And then I put it online. But I'm really happy with how it's turned out, because it looks like homemade, but I quite like its homemadeness.
No, I really liked it, this one, because like I mean I've watched a bunch of videos, not just of yours, just other people's too, and it's always curiosity to me to see what you can do now just with just the technology that we have, like as close as a cell phone
Exactly,
or a
yeah.
laptop, right? So
Well, I mean, we just did it on a cheap camcorder that I had, and then Windows Movie Maker, just the free software. Because I mean, I don't know anything about film really, but my friend does, and he told me where to cut it and edit it and things, and we just put it all together quickly. Because I don't think it needs to look like a blockbuster when you're not a blockbuster artist. You know what I mean? It's just another way of putting the song on a different website.
well, right, but not only that. Now, I mean, except for the videos on YouTube, but I mean, a lot of people are almost kind of needlessly kind of putting excessive money into it when it's really not necessary.
Well, exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's supposed to be about the song anyway, so if you can do a video just all in one day for really cheap, I don't see why you wouldn't, because it doesn't. Well, in a way, it is quite impressive, I suppose, if it looks brilliant, but I don't see why it would need to when you're not very well known. You know what I mean?
Right, exactly. I mean, because it's just one of those things that, you know, even if you want to, I mean, you have to kind of do what we'll say makes sense at the time, you know. And once you get those few steps higher and higher, then you can look and do more stuff. But at least you have a good head on your shoulders and you're focused, meaning you know what's going on, and you don't want to be too excessive in too many places because of lack of funding or it's too much at the time. You know, that can come later on.
Well, yeah, exactly. That makes later on seem better. So I might as well not make a blockbuster music video now, because if it ended up ever happening, then I'm sure it would seem a lot cooler at the time.
Well, in my eyes, I'm 100% sure there will be later on. So,
well, you never know. But I don't know. I quite like the homemade look. I might keep it.
No, and those are the funnest videos. I mean, and a lot of bands are doing that, and they're essentially going back to the old school when there wasn't a lot of technology. You know, the videos were very, very basic, but a lot of those videos were some of the coolest videos were the basic ones because there was more creativeness put into it. Because people can say like, you know, well, this video just use YouTube as an example. You know, this video was really cool because you know they dropped 2 million into it, and they put all these graphic designs. It's like, yeah, that's creative to a point. You almost, in my opinion, you almost seem more creative with the little that you have, as opposed to everything at your fingertips.
Well, exactly. I mean, I suppose you can like overdo it if you've just got everything at your fingertips. I mean, but to be honest, I don't really pay attention to videos anyway. I mean, a lot of people, I suppose, if they've listened to it on there, they might not even be watching the video. So it's just really about the song, and it's just another way. It's a better way to put it on YouTube to make a little video, I suppose, than just putting a picture saying crocodile. But you know, I really don't see the reason for it to be a massive over the top thing when it can work in the way like this.
Yeah, exactly, man. Just keeping it simple is the best way to do it. And like I said, I've seen a few in the recent past year or so that have been very basic, but they've been fun. You know, they've been really fun. It's like, you know what? I can enjoy this because I don't watch too many videos. Like, yeah, I'll look like everyone else does once in a while, but I don't pay too much attention because in the end, just like you said, I'm more care about the music than I do about the video itself. But some of them, they do catch your eye because they are basic, but they have the fun